Yeah, let me introduce myself. I am Casper Leitch. My guest, Michelle Rainey. Go to MichelleRainey.com, MichelleRainey.com. You will learn a lot. Buy a T-shirt if you get a chance, and if you got a private affair that you want to have catered, or think that maybe you want to do something special, get a hold of her. She knows how to make every party a delight. MichelleRainey.com. Thank you for joining us at Time for Hemp tonight.
Casper, I have so many current things to talk to you about now.
I bet you do. You got a real interesting life. You could fill up like 3 shows, and I would love to do that. You've got to come back as a guest real soon.
I would love to, but do we still have a few moments? To talk current?
How about you have you back at the top of the next hour if you want to hang out? We don't get it knocked out. But, what are you up to now?
Well, for the past 3 years, I have been involved with Treating Yourself magazine and Mark Arenda.
Oh, I've heard of them.
Have you now?
They're a brilliant journal that's written by patients for patients, and you should go to treatingyourself.com if you get a chance and check out their remarkable website.
Yes, and my husband is the editor, Jeff Tech, which I'm very proud of. And next year, Treating Yourself is putting on the first ever Medical Marijuana and Hemp Expo in Toronto, Canada, July 16th to 18th. It is going to be a first-class trade show, first-class event. I'm extremely excited about this, and I suggest that anybody from anywhere in the world that would like to get involved and also get educated come to this. It's a rare occasion that a event like this is put on, so you do have almost a year's advance notice to come. I would have a look at that.
Didn't Marco get a particularly interesting historic spot for a venue?
The Metro Toronto Convention Centre.
Yep, but there's going to be a a vaporizer room there too, isn't there?
Yes, there is, and we're also going to have the Marijuana Music Awards.
Oh, my. Now, tell people about this vaporizer room. I mean, this is almost like walking into a surreal spot in the world. I mean, here, an historic spot in Canada where so much has gone on, and it's going to be sectioned off where you can actually walk into this public arena and sit down and vaporize. Is that right?
It will be sectioned off, yes. And keep in mind, you have to be legal of age. Now, in the U.S., it's 21, but in Canada, it's 19.
Wow.
And I think there are a few other requirements, too.
I'm in love with Canada already.
And so you should be. Also, I've been producing a show called Michelle's Medicinal Marijuana, which I spoke of earlier, which is on YouTube. My husband.
Tell people about that. I want people to go to your YouTube website and subscribe to your channel and fall in love with you just as easily and quickly as I have, because there's not just you're not just beautiful eye candy, which you are, but your mind and your heart and your soul just radiates through your videos.
Oh, Casper, thank you. And you know what? I'm famous for giving booby hugs to males, females, and anybody else you can possibly think of, including animals. Everybody loves a good booby hug. Come on.
You're not kidding. It makes you feel like you're part of life. It does.
Well, of course. You've got to touch souls. You've got to touch hearts.
So now when they go tell people what they're going to find at your little YouTube site. I got a little YouTube site, but your little YouTube site at Michelle Rainey YouTube. What's he got to find there? Tell them about your little videos.
Well, I do a shtick. I like to call it a little shtick on pot and politics. And it's just enough time to have a cup of tea, maybe smoke a joint, have a bowl, and get educated. It's about 5 to 10 minutes long. I discuss what's going on in our world, cannabis-wise, as well as politically, and how to get involved. My husband, Jeff, is my soulmate, and thankfully he is patient enough to load my shows. And he also happens to be the editor of Treating Yourself. He writes for High Times and Skunk magazine, so both of us are a force to be reckoned with.
May I interrupt for a minute and ask you on the air, as we're talking, I just had a thought. Would it be too much trouble for you to pop on the Time for Hemp once or twice a month and give in the news what's going on around the world to our listeners?
I would be honored, Casper. Oh, my God. Thank you.
I'm serious, because
what
I
a
love
thrill.
your voice. I'm serious. I love your voice and your background and your knowledge and your enthusiasm, and our audience can't do anything but benefit from having you as part of our family.
Casper, I would be truly honored. Thank you so much. I will do anything to, of course, contribute and help you in any way.
Well, then let's just count on having at least every other week a report from Michelle Rainey here at Time for Hemp.
Yay!
Yay is right. I'm serious. You just bring so much to any broadcast, and I just think you need more than just 10 minutes on YouTube and a bigger audience than what you and I can find together. Maybe we'll finally reach the whole world. Who knows?
Casper, that's what we're supposed to do. And for the past couple of years, I've been helping facilitate legal exemptions like I have in this country, and also I put together a medicinal cannabis education package. I feel like a walking pharmaceutical salesman, except I'm not allowed to give free samples. But in this package, I've got the 33 pages of the Health Canada forms, as well as 5 pages of beneficial information proving cannabis's therapeutic value, as well as the American College of Physicians report. You know that your college, that's the oldest and accredited, 124,000, actually believe in its therapeutic value. That has such a huge endorsement, Casper, a massive endorsement for medical marijuana.
You're not kidding. You're really not kidding.
Well,
Usually I wrap up the guest at this point because we're going to be going to commercial here in a minute. But I do have 4 more minutes at the top of the next hour that I'm able to share with you if you would like to come back and do that with our audience for certain.
Terrific, Casper. Thank you.
So you'll hang on?
I'll hang on.
Oh, beautiful. You rock, my new friend. You rock. Well, we'll be back with Michelle Rainey and more music here at Time for Hemp. Thank you for taking Time for Hemp. I'm your host, Casper Leitch. We are celebrating a new friendship with my new friend, Michelle Rainey. Before I jump into a question, though, there's a thing I want to say to all people listening. I want to thank you for helping to raise the voice of the marijuana movement by telling your friends about Time for Hemp. Because of you and your friends have made it possible that when you type in the word hemp at the iTunes search engine, we are the #1 and the #2 recommended podcast globally, and we are now close to having 500,000 subscribers to our weekly podcast. And, of course, we are heard live every Tuesday and Wednesday across America and around the world. Michelle Rainey, I have 2 questions. If I have time for the second one, I'll toss it out, but I do want to ask you, if you had just one thing left to say to the entire global marijuana movement, I always ask this of all my first-time guests, what would that be?
Get involved.
Okay, that was quick. That was a quick answer. You're right. Get involved. All right.
I could, Casper, honestly, I could go on, but I don't want to. The biggest thing for all of us that we can do is get involved. Get on the websites. Talk to your local politicians. Talk to your neighbors. Educate. Just get involved.
Well, then the second thing is I want somebody out there who's listening to know that I really need a pimp to adopt me. Wink, wink. That's your cue.
That's my cue. I started a project, a local project. Sadly, we've got a few prostitutes that have come into the area that I live in, a block away from me. And it's getting worse. They're coming from downtown Vancouver because we have the Olympics. And, yes, the city is trying to clean up the downtown east side, and that's another story altogether.
So you started an organization to do what?
Adopt a prostitute. And that's what I'm doing.
Prostitute? Now, what do you mean by adopt a prostitute?
Every time I run into one, walking to the market, going to the gym, or on my way to the bus, I talk to them. I immediately ask them their name, ask them if they need any help. None of us talk to each other.
That's really nice. That's really nice.
And right now I've got 2 in a rehabilitation program here in the city that I live in. And there are many more that need help because, sadly, there are so many prostitutes that are being victimized. Drug addiction and having to provide for that drug addiction means selling sex. Many of them are beaten, they're abused, and many are dead. And I don't want to see any more women victimized. And every day that I walk up the street and get out there in the world and I see a young woman waiting for a fix and waiting for a John to enable her to give her that fix. It hurts my soul, and I want to see something done about it, and that's why I started this project.
All right, so did they log on? We got about a minute. Did they log online and go somewhere to make a donation, or what's the deal here?
No, I want everybody to do the same thing that I'm doing.
In their own communities?
Yes, if you see somebody that's down and out and marginalized, not necessarily a prostitute, but somebody who doesn't have a home, say, hey, can I help you? What do you need? Once in a while...
Well, let me say, hey, Michelle Rainey, we're going to have you back real soon as a guest. And when we come back, we got Chris Conrad from the West Coast Leaf joining us here at Time for Hemp. Thank you, Michelle. I love you.
Casper, thank you.
And when you get a point, always take Time for Hemp.